single day.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jim Fox. I am the special magistrate that has been appointed to hear this case. So we have a number of people here. Before we hear the case, I'd just like to say a little bit about the quorum during this quasi-judicial proceeding. I was having a conversation the other day with Judge Magnus, and I don't know if you know who he is, but he is the sometimes federal judge in Fort Myers. He has senior status. The thing about Judge Magnuson is he has helped 44 countries set up their judicial processes. 44. Because our judicial processes are the envy of the world. And they work because of this unique system that we have developed for trying to get at the truth. I'm going to try my very best to do that here today. And I'm going to ask you to be respectful of this process that is so unique and is such a wonderful part of our American tradition. What that means is no talking, no sneering, no chewing of gum. Please try to maintain respect for the process, for the people who are presenting their cases. Even if you disagree or don't like something, that is not going to influence my decision. And so if you will please do that, I think it will be a good day for all of us. Having said that, I'm going to call the case. There is not a case number. This is the case of Ian McGuire, petitioner, versus Charlotte County, respondent before the special magistrate in M4, Collier County, Florida. Let's have appearances.
Derek Bruni, Ray Robinson Law Firm on behalf of Charlotte County. I'm joined by Corporal Lytle from the Sheriff's Department.
Mr. Rooney, nice to see you.
Mr. McGuire.
Mr. McGuire, nice to see you. You're not represented by counsel here?
No, I'm
All
not.
right. Here's what I would like to do, unless we have some preliminary matters.
I have no objection to recording, but I would prefer, so that's not a distraction from the proceedings, if we could go back to the rule that you enforced on Tuesday, which is one location in the back.
No, I agree with that. That's sufficient to have a press pool camera, so.
I would object, sir. This is my hearing, and, I would like to make sure that it's documented for, my own reasons, obviously.
I'm going to overrule your objection, sir. I understand. One camera, and if we need to take a recess so you all can get it set up in the back, I'm happy to do that. But that's what we're going to do here today. I have an order from the chief judge concerning that, and that's what we're going to do. Is it necessary to take a recess?
I would like one to confer with some other people.
Take as much time as you need, sir.
Make sure you get faces.
Ian? Ian?
So, any other preliminary matters?
Yes, sir. I would like to bring up Gideon versus Wainwright. I noticed there was no option to have counsel like appointed for me, since I'm indigent. And it's my understanding that the county hires him because he's an expert in law, and I'm not an expert in law, but I would like to be represented by an attorney because this involves taking away civil liberties from me to visit public places and potentially put me in situations to be arrested.
Sir, as I understand, Gideon versus Wainwright, that is a case that pertains to assistance of counsel with respect to the deprivation of your liberty for criminal acts, not for civil acts. Trespass is in civil, and therefore there isn't a right to court-appointed and county-paid for counsel. If you would like to request a recess so that you can see if you can get an attorney and have one.
Like I said, like I'm indigent and don't have the means to pay for one. I don't have the $1,500 that was previously paid by another person that was trespassed by the county.
I understood that, sir. There are multiple ways to obtain counsel. There's a legal services society that will do things for free. There are counsels such as myself who have a certain number of pro bono hours that we do for the bar and for persons in the interest of justice. Are you requesting a continuance in order to obtain counsel, and you prefer to proceed today?
I'm gonna try to represent myself as best as that I can.
Okay, very good. Thank you, sir. Okay. All right. Any more?
Only one other item. I provided yourself with a binder and a copy of everything in the binder to Mr. McGuire. It's just copies of the evidence the county intends to add, as well as some reference materials, including the special magistrate code sections.
Very good. Thank you, counsel. All right. Here's how we're going to proceed. I'd like to have just a very brief opening statement from each of you to tell me what the evidence will show and what you're asking me to do. We'll start with the petitioner, who's Mr. McGuire. We'll then hear from the respondent, which is Charlotte County. And then after that, we will ask each side to put on their evidence. I would, although that normally what happens in these situations is that the petitioner goes first, I would suggest that it might be, Mr. McGuire, in your interest to let, in terms of the case in chief, to let the respondent go first so you can see what it is that they're claiming. That will give you, in my estimation, a better chance to respond to that and defend the cases being made, but that's certainly up to you as to how you...
I was just thinking the same thing, Your Honor.
Okay, very good.
I thought that's how it went in the first place.
We had two learned counsel there that makes it a lot easier, so I just want to make sure that I'm okay, that you're okay with the way we're proceeding. Okay?
Yeah, I would love to see his so-called evidence against me.
Okay, well, we will do that then. And in light of that, then, how about if we have the county go first with their opening statement, and then you can respond to that as well. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
All right, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to remain
Yeah, you
seated.
certainly may.
I'm here on behalf of Charlotte County, seeking to uphold the county's trespass order against Mr. McGuire. Mr. McGuire was trespassed from the county's mid-county library facility at 2050 Forest Nelson Boulevard, Port Charlotte, on October 27th by Corporal Roland Lytle of the Sheriff's Department for violating county facility rules as well as the Florida Election Code. Specifically, over the course of 2 days, October 26th and 27th, Mr. McGuire at the Mid-County Library and within designated early voting facilities attempted to enter and record in violation of section 102.031, which prohibits the entry of non-election staff or voters into polling places, as well as prohibiting photography. Additionally, failing to observe lawful orders of election staff, Mr. McGuire engaged in disruptive and harassing behavior with election staff and voters and patrons of the library in violation of the county's facility rules numbers 1, 6, 9, and 14. Copies of those rules, as well as the trespass order, are in the first tab of your binder, and the first items in your packet. And the third tab also contains a copy of section 102 from the 031 from the Florida Elections Code, and also have a copy as well. That concludes my opening statement.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. McGuire.
Yes, sir. I did go to the library on those days. As a member of the media, I have, as one of my exhibits, a press pass for my YouTube channel. And I was filming there. I don't understand how I disrupted or harassed anyone. Several individuals, approached me and began yelling and telling me to leave and whatnot. I also have, as part of my evidence, a decision from the 11th Circuit, Smith versus Cummings. Let me give that to you. And there's another one in there, McDonough versus Rundle, which basically, establishes it's a First Amendment right to document what public officials do on public property and collect matters of public interest, which is what I was there doing. I was documenting the election process. At no point did I enter the polling place, which is what I understand would be a violation of the election law. I merely photographed from a public viewpoint, like in the hallway and like on the exterior, like of the library. And I would also like to object to being trespassed by corporal libel, because it's my understanding that through the county ordinance that it has to be authorized through the Board of County Commissioners. I don't understand his authorization to sign off on their trespass paperwork. He's not Ray, sorry, I might mispronounce her name, it's Ray Braca, or what's the other lady, Kathy Shoemaker?
Ray Sandrock, or Kelly Shoemaker.
There you go.
Have you provided these cases to counsel for them?
I'm not aware of the McDonough case. I am familiar with Smith versus Cummings.
I understand it was my responsibility to provide him the paperwork for his case against me.
Okay, so that is the requirement, that if you're going to share something with the court, that you also provide it to the opposing party, either personally.
I wasn't aware of the discovery process or how to do that. Like I said, sir, I'm not an expert at law. That's why he's hired by the county, because he's an expert at law. He knows how to do all these things.
Do you understand that now, sir?
I understand it now.
Thank you. Counsel, for the record, it's an 11th Circuit Court of Appeals case, McDonough versus Catherine Fernandez Rundle. The only citation I see for it is the court citation of case number 15-14642, July 12, 2017, and I will let you take a look at my copy. Anything else, Mr. McGuire?
That's it so far.
Good. Thank you.
This case appears to be with regard to state wiretapping laws. I don't believe that that is anything that the county is charging us to rely on.
I agree with you, Counsel.
And with respect to Smith versus Cummings, briefly, it does provide that that members of the public, members of the press may record video, in that case police officers, which are public officials, in the performance of their duties in matters of public interest. In these situations, we're specifically talking about members of the public who are going into, not public officials who are going in to vote, which is a more private activity and is not something that is a matter for the general public.
Question. Is it not within the public interest to document the election process?
Mr. McGuire, I do not see anything in Smith that suggests that reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions on First Amendment activities, including the press, trump laws designed to protect our election process, regardless of who you are. Are you suggesting that this case somehow does that?
I believe it protects my right to document these people as they work for the public as polling officials and collecting the information about them and do my media story that I published on YouTube, which shows how they disrupt the First Amendment, create arguments with people, tell you about laws that don't really apply in these circumstances, and then call police to have you trespassed to deny you the right to come to a public place. I think that is definitely within the scope of the public interest. Make them aware of these situations.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I'd first like to add county's exhibit number 1, which is a video downloaded from Mr. McGuire's YouTube channel. It pertains to the events of October 26th. Is there any objection from Mr. McGuire?
No, I'd love to see the video.
Without objection to the calling this exhibit 1.
Yes. All of the videos or any other materials we have that are electronic are in a disc. So we can add that as composite exhibit 1 and deal with each individual item as it comes up.
Thank you.
Where's that?
No, it is not allowed. It is not allowed.
Please don't touch me,
You
ma'am.
need to leave the building. I
Why?
know who you are. You need to leave the
Who
building.
am I?
Please leave. You are not allowed to be in here with a camera.
It says who?
That's a law.
It is?
Yes,
It's people's privacy, and they have to leave
yes.
alone to vote.
How are you?
You working for a newspaper?
You can't respond.
You can't work because there's no line right
Oh, there's not?
How are
now.
you, sir?
Earlier today, we had a big line, all day long. You want to stand back here a minute till I tell people that you're here?
That's not allowed.
You can't have it, cameras in the polling place.
No.
Where's that?
No, it is not allowed. It is not allowed.
Please don't touch me,
You
ma'am.
need to leave the building. I
Why?
know who you are. You need to leave the
Who
building.
am I?
Please leave. You are not allowed to be in here with a camera.
It says who?
That's a law.
I'll get
It
you.
is?
Yes,
It's people's privacy, and they have to leave
yes.
alone to vote. Paul,
Yes.
this gentleman needs to be escorted out.
Okay. Thank you. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Fine, we need to leave
Why do I need to leave?
because they don't want you on this property.
There's
Oh.
no photography allowed in the polling place.
Well, this is a public library.
There's no photography allowed in the polling place.
Well, that's nice.
How's my teeth?
That's good.
Good. Dude, who are you working with?
I'm not working with anyone. You know who you should talk to? That Mr. Stromless guy. See about that no photography.
I don't need to talk to anybody. If my clerk says she don't want you here, she don't want you here.
Well, she's not God, is she?
Well, no, neither are you. Are you?
Maybe.
Because I feel with power.
I might be. Like I said, I just want to take pictures in public. I don't understand why that's illegal.
You're not allowed to take photography in the polling place.
I think you can't campaign in a polling place, man. I'm pretty sure that I
Well,
can.
you're right about that too.
There's
So
no
you-
I'm pretty sure that I can film.
So you only got half of that.
So thank you. So thank you. You guys are so intelligent.
Thank you. I've never been accused of that.
You want to go on behind the sign?
Ma'am, I'm not campaigning. I already explained that.
I don't care, but you want to go on back behind the signs because we have people coming in.
No thanks. It's a public place. It's a public library.
Yeah, but it's also a voting place, so this is,
It's also my taxpayer paid for library that I'd like to use
yeah, but
and
you
record
see,
things.
you see the signs for people to be soliciting?
How am I soliciting?
You're not using the library,
You're not
sir.
using them.
You're trying to infringe upon voters.
Oh, I am?
Yes.
How?
You're not allowed to do
How am I
certain
infringing
things.
on them by recording you outside? Can you tell me?
No. Okay.
Oh, did you call on me? Did you call the police? Oh, the big savers. Feel safe now, buddy?
I do.
Excuse me, sir, I'd like to go in this public building.
Okay.
You gonna stand there and block my way?
I'm just standing here.
Is there a reason you want to come in with a camera?
Yes, there is.
What for?
Are you going to the library?
I would like to document what public officials do on public property and collect matters of public interest.
Well, why don't you wait a few minutes and the police will be here in a minute to escort you in.
Because I'd like to come see it now. Thank you. Would you please get on my way, sir, so I can come in?
You going to the library?
Sure.
They'll
Sure.
want you to turn it off, I'm sure.
Oh, okay, and we'll find that out too. What's up, man? What's going on?
Feels good. Wait for a lady out back. What do you say, Mr. Moore? How you doing today?
Good, man. How are you? Did they call you here because of me?
Thank you.
Huh?
You're not recording them, are you?
I am.
I'm not trying to suggest you do take us off your list because I won't press charges.
What?
Do take us off. You need to remove us from that.
Why don't you, there's a way for us to say something.
I sure will.
Thank
Come
you.
on.
You're gonna go tell the police on me?
Yes, I will.
What did I do?
That's a violation.
I did a violation of what?
You're violating my rights and my children's rights.
How?
Excuse me. Right there. Back here.
Yeah, this is a public place.
He's next.
Actually,
It's actually happening in there. I'm walking out and he's harassing you. I feel.
How did I harass you, man?
Because.
How did I harass you?
And it's illegal.
just here, we'll go outside. Yeah.
Huh?
It's every right to videotape.
Did you guys hear that? I have a right to videotape, so why are we calling cops on people? Why are we doing that, trying to block doors? Oh, also, officer, before you go, excuse me, deputy? What's your name, sir?
You guys.
The lady in the red over there, I would like to press charges for battery. She grabbed my hand and tried to take my camera, and I have that on film.
Where was this at?
Down in the hall, I was recording, and the lady in the red down there grabbed my arm and tried to take my camera from me. She's inside of the polling place.
Let's see what it's all.
She had no consent to touch me, sir.
Excuse us. Thank you.
You guys want to talk about law? We'll learn some law here today, won't we?
You're not allowed to.
When he starts taking pictures, don't go, I don't want any percent suing.
Yeah, it's a public place, dude.
Take a picture.
You can record in a public place, don't you understand? Go read a law book. Go read a law book. Go wasting his time.
We're not wasting his time.
Yes, you are. You're wasting his time.
You want me to talk with the, you said Brenda?
Yes, she grabbed my hand and tried to take my camera. That's battery, sir.
Color here, Michelle.
Red, I can point her out to you.
With this camera.
Yeah, come down the hallway.
Back, once you know you can videotape back in this area. because-
I'm not going to record the polling place. I did not record the polling place. But this hall is a public access.
Where did this occur?
Right here by this bench.
Right here.
It's not illegal. It's a public place.
Yeah, but-
What don't you understand?
I understand, I don't think you understand.
I don't think you do. She did it to me right here, sir.
Yeah, no, I just thought she was right here. Okay. Good. Doing well, sir. How are you?
Wonderful, good.
Miss Julie, can I talk to you someplace?
Who is this woman?
Yes.
I prefer someone like you. I don't want to make people fall off that.
Tell them how you grabbed me.
Oh. Okay, yes. We'll do that. Okay. All right.
do us a favor, I'm interviewing them, go stand over there, please. You know how this rolls, this isn't.
I'll do you the favor, man, I'm not gonna go too far.
Well, dude, you know how this works. They're filing a complaint, I have rights off them, and you're not
I'll
gonna.
stand over here, I'm not interfering with your
Well,
investigation.
you are by videotaping your statement, so you can go back inside, or you can shut it off and get a statement. So you pick. You know what you're allowed to do, but you can't.
She's out in public. And if you want a private statement, you can take her in her vehicle over there and get one. And I haven't done shit.
Again, I'm gonna ask you one more time.
How far back do you want me, man?
You can go far away so you don't hear our statement. You have the right to film, but I also can have you leave when I'm conducting an investigation. If you don't, you know what happens from that point.
Are you giving me like a lawful order?
I'm asking you to go as far away as possible. So if you want to go inside so you can't hear us talk, that's fine. If you want to go stand over there by the weather SUV, sure, go over there. But they're making a complaint, and I'm going to take the complaint right here. I'm not going to go inside and disturb voting. So you can either go inside or you're going to have to leave, and then when I'm done, you come back over.
If you're giving me like a lawful order, then I'll comply.
Yes, I am. Just let me take the complaint.
Okay, I'll go inside then. But I will be filing like a complaint against you, sir.
That's why I'm doing it.
Yourself, ma'am?
Right now, I'm waiting for the other deputy to come so we can get a statement, from you as well.
Okay.
Based on what you told us.
I have everything on video. I know it's the same format card that fits your laptops.
Like SD cards?
Yeah. So I'm not sure what kind of storytelling.
Would you be able to pull that, like, so that we can download that and so I can?
Yeah, you can watch it, man. Because I would like to see her come up. I'm standing about right here. The lady in red comes up, grabs my hand, and tries to put her hand in front of the camera and take the camera from me. And I told her, I said, ma'am, don't touch me. I don't want to be touched by you. And then this guy came up here like he had some kind of authority and telling me that I had to leave the building and all this. So I hope you guys didn't tell this deputy some kind of stories because I got it all on film.
Does that camera take you out?
Sure does. It records everything you do.
While you're doing that, I'll walk over here and talk.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. I just want to understand why I can't record you from a distance, man. If you're taking a statement out in public.
You're allowed to. It just, we don't.
I don't understand that,
that close to, so you can hear her statement. We have that right. You know that.
If you're interviewing her out in public and I'm at a distance like this and I can hear her.
About putting a sign that says, I have the right to film in public.
Well, you know what's better than that?
People might not bother you. You know what I mean?
You know what's better than that, dude? Is when you film them and then they call you and then you guys tell them that.
Yeah, but it's a waste of resources.
Well, maybe the public should be more aware of what laws are.
I mean, hey, I'm
Right,
a
man?
taxpayer, you're
Hey.
a taxpayer, we're all paying.
Check this out, man. Why is there 2 cops here for this nonsense?
Policy, you have disturbances, come to officers. That's our policy.
Well, they shouldn't be calling anyone for someone videotaping in a public place.
I agree with you, but like you
If
said,
someone
not
calls, you gotta
everybody
tell them,
knows.
right?
Why is, well, that can be something violent, stuff
Yeah.
like that. That's different.
For any reason, but
Guy with camera here recording people, you know, I don't know, man.
I don't know, but unfortunately, that's not what people are called.
I just, you know,
It's what it is.
I just don't understand it. People's ignorance is not my responsibility. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Do you know a judge told me that one time?
Which judge?
I think it was Bell, I'm not sure. A while ago, man. I was like 18, 19. Check that out, man. So I took that to heart. So, you know, it's a two-way street. If my ignorance is not an excuse, there shouldn't be either. Check it out.
All right, well, these gentlemen here are going to take over what your report was. I'm going to turn over the control lead, speak to this deputy.
I got the SD card, man. It's about done after this little complaint I'm doing.
All right, well, we're going to obviously need to see that, so I can't download it. I can at least take it for evidence, if you're willing to give me that.
Taking my bid?
The card, because I don't have to download it on the hard drive.
You just,
maybe pull it up
Copy
and
it,
do like
yeah.
a CD. This is a car, so it's not.
you have a laptop in there, don't you?
There's no hard drive, I mean, there's no CD or anything like that. That's what you're asking.
What do you do when you go to Walmart and someone
They
stole
provide
shit?
it.
Oh, they give you a burnt copy?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Just out here filming.
Okay. Is it okay if I talk to one of my coworkers without needing personnel by you?
You're in the public.
Yeah, I know, and so are you, so you mind backing up so I can talk to my coworker, please?
I'm not stopping you from doing it. Just want to talk to what public officials do on public property, that's all.
Yeah.
Why are we so secretive? I mean, I do. I mean, you know, I definitely have some questions about what you said to me. Because I was at least, I want to say 15, 20 feet from you.
Can you hear someone that's talking when they're 15 feet away? I know your camera sure can.
But you guys are out in public. If you want to get a
But we can't
statement,
go inside, they're voting.
you could have taken her to the conference room in there. You could take her inside of your vehicle and get a statement. If you don't want to make it public, then don't.
You want to take them inside the secret?
Ma'am, I'm not an official here. I'm just a private citizen taking videos on public property. Oh, myself.
So why are you filming?
Because the First Amendment says I have a right to.
Well, yeah, why? I know you have a right.
Well, why is a very long and complicated story, sir.
Okay,
But just know I do it in the best interest of the public.
okay,
I try to raise public awareness.
okay.
Guys, quit calling cops for every little thing that goes on.
Well, I didn't call.
Anybody on,
Not if you're out in a public place, ma'am.
so you can put me on Facebook?
Or
without my
YouTube or
permission?
anything. Yeah, I don't need it. We're starting to get a party going.
I see that, man. How you doing?
Good, man.
Good, good. How you doing?
Good, good.
Good, good.
You all right there, man?
I'm great, man.
Whose self is this?
Yes, I am. I want to stand behind this thing. What are you doing, cheat sheet? No.
Why did you grab me for filming in a public place, ma'am? You grabbed me, ma'am. Sure did.
I did not look at your video.
Sure did. You grabbed my hand, trying to take my camera. Sure did. Why'd you do that? Why don't you admit when you're wrong?
I'm doing it wrong.
You want me to burn? Well, boy, you don't want to get on that cross, do you? Be ashamed of yourself.
You guys take care. All right.
Have a good day, buddy.
Ian, you take care, man. Try not to aggravate the world.
I'm not.
You sure?
I'm not aggravating it.
Hey, it's all fogged up, kid.
Close enough to the camera there, bud?
Are you in the paper?
Well, sort of.
Yeah, you make the paper a lot.
Guys, have a good time. Hey, when am I gonna get to talk to the supervisor guy about that distance thing and all that shit? I see him trying to walk off over there. Because I was trying to film him take a statement, and he said I couldn't do that. See, I don't get to talk to my supervisor today. This. Wow. Okay.
At this time, if there's no objection, I'd like to call Corporal Roland Weigel to the stand.
Arrival call to the stand.
right hand. Swear to affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I swear so, yeah.
Have a seat, sir.
Good afternoon, Corporal Lytle. Corporal, what is your role at the Sheriff's Office?
I'm a supervisor over District 2 area.
Okay, and what is the Mid-County Library, I'm assuming is within District 2?
Yes,
You issued the trespass order in this case, is that correct?
I did.
What authority do you have to issue a trespass order?
I'm designated by the county. The statute actually says county commissioners or designees of the county commissioners, and I'm a designee of the county commissioners to issue trespass on public property by county ordinance.
Now, you were not present on October 26th, the day this video was filmed.
Correct. We had just, that was the oncoming night shift. We had just gone off shift when that took place.
I don't have a video for the 26th, I'm sorry, the 27th. Can you describe for me and the court what the events of the 27th were that led you up to issuing this trespass?
We got a complaint about Mr. Sheets causing disturbance on county property, specifically at the early voting polling area. And so when I responded, Deputy Campbell and I responded to that area. Andrew Sheets, we didn't see him when we first pulled up. Looked across the parking lot, he got in his car and he tried to leave before we got to talk to him. I was able to stop him in his car, spoke to him, I issued him a trespass at that time, at which point he called Mr. McGuire on the telephone and told him he was being trespassed, and then he called him up to come to the library and take his place, start filming. I don't know what the reason for it was exactly. But so he commenced to tell me when he was on the phone that he was calling his friend Ian and he'd be there in a minute. So about that time, I notified the watch commander, who was the lieutenant on duty, what was going on and what was happening on the phone. And in between that time that Mr. Sheets was issued his trespass, and I was on the phone with my lieutenant, Mr. McGuire showed up, and then he began videotaping, and another confrontation ensued with a voter. And again, he went in and attempted to film inside the polling area, which by county ordinance is not allowed against county ordinance and federal law to film inside a polling place. And so he was subsequently issued a trespass by Anna Lopez. Anna Lopez withdrew her trespass because they allowed me, since I was there, to issue the trespass in lieu of Anna Lopez.
In the trespass order, I'm going to hand you a copy. Mr. Wire, you have a copy with your materials. And this is in tab 1. I've actually tabbed it with a little red flag, so it's easier for you to find. You indicated, Corporal Lytle, that there were 4 county facility rules that were in violation.
Yes, sir.
Could you read off each of those rules, the number of the rule and what the alleged violation is?
I checked Rule 1, which is engaging in activity prohibited by law, which would have been filming inside the polling place, inside the actual voting place. Solicitation of petitions, pamphleteering, demonstrating, also Block 6 rather, demonstrating or protesting anywhere inside county buildings or conveyances or in areas where such activities are otherwise prohibited on county lands. However, these activities may be done in an orderly manner and without harassment to employees, public, outside of the entryway of any county-owned building, on any public sidewalk or public right-of-way near or adjacent to any county-owned building, or in areas otherwise designated for express activity. Rules governing citizen conduct during public meetings of the Board of County Commissioners can be found in Section 5.02 of the Administrative Code, Section 1.12, available online at charlottecountyflorida.gov. I also checked Block 9, disruptive, harassing, or unsafe behavior, including conduct which intentionally interferes with employees in the performance of their duties or intentionally interferes with the proper use of county facility by others. And I also checked Block 14, failure to cease conduct specifically prohibited in items 1 through 13 above.
Now, Corporal Lytle, the first facility rule you cited was engaging in any activity prohibited by law. I'm going to hand you a section 102.031 of the Florida Elections Code. That's in the third tab of your binder and at the back of your package. Mr. McGuire.
Council, was that section 102.031?
3.1, yes. And specifically, Corporal Lytle, I'd like you to read subsection 3 from that code section.
Subsection 3A, no person may enter any polling room or polling place where the polling place is also a polling room or any early voting area during voting hours except the following: official poll watchers, inspectors, elections clerk, supervisor of elections, or his or her deputy, persons there to vote, persons in the care of a voter, or persons caring for such a voter, law enforcement officers or emergency service personnel, or a person whether or not registered to vote who is participating in a simulated election for minors is approved by the supervisor of elections.
Okay, Corporal Lytle, does it say anything in there that a member of the public who is not a voter may enter into that facility?
No, sir.
Okay. And do you believe that Mr. McGuire was there to vote on October 27th?
He was not.
You also indicated that, I apologize. Could you turn to the next page of that statute and read off subsection 5?
Subsection 5, the same statute. No photography is permitted in the polling room or early voting area.
Now, you also checked off county facility rule number 9, which you have there with you.
Yes, sir.
Discussing intentionally harassing or disrupting activity.
Disruptive behavior, yes, sir.
From your personally witnessed events on October 27th, was the appellant involved in intentional disruptive behavior, intentional harassing behavior?
Yes, sir. Not only was he involved in disruptive behavior, but he came there with the intent to disrupt, based on Andrew Sheets' phone call.
With regards to facility rule number 14, failing to cease prohibited rule 1 through 13 after being requested to do so, from what you witnessed on October 27th, did Mr. McGuire fail to adhere to commands or orders to cease those activities that were disruptive?
Yes, he argued with the polling. He argued with the elections deputies and officials that were on site, asking him to stop.
At this time, Your Honor, I have no more questions.
I have some. You don't mind if I use that paper gun?
Absolutely.
So, Corporal Lytle. So at what point did I actually enter inside of the polling room?
You went in and went down the hallway while I was on the phone.
Excuse me, Corporal, Mr. Lytle, would you please, Corporal Lytle, would you please hold on for a second? Mr. McGuire, will you please take your seat? Thank you.
Okay. So now, was I in the hallway or was I inside of the polling room?
You were out front, you were in front of the hallway, and you went down the hallway to the door of the polling area, videotaping inside.
But did I actually enter into the polling area?
Inside the door? No, you attempted to and were stopped, but you continued to tape inside.
I don't recall ever trying to enter that room.
The
on
lady
video.
you said committed a battery stopped you from going in.
Okay. And in regards to not doing what they asked me to stop doing, now, from what I understand, it is lawful to record in a public place, correct?
I assume so.
So if they're asking me to cease a lawful activity, do I have to stop doing that?
If there's restrictions, which there are, on that particular activity, yes.
Inside of the polling room, correct?
Yes.
That I
Or taping
did not enter.
inside the polling room. You were
I
taping
believe,
inside the polling room.
from what I read in the statute, that applies inside of the polling area, where people are actually voting.
That's
Is that correct?
That's a matter of interpretation.
And, okay, so I never been in there. Now, number 6, can you explain how I solicited petitions or pamphleteering or demonstrated or protested?
You were protesting not being allowed inside the polling area.
But
And that was just evidenced by the film we just watched for 20 minutes.
protesting by telling them that I had a right to be there? And
Not
these,
leaving like you were asked.
these individuals approached me, right?
They were they were at their appointed place of duty. You approached them.
Yes.
From what I recall, from what I saw, I believe I was approached first in these situations.
That's your opinion.
Right? Let's see. And how was I being disrupting and harassing and doing unsafe behaviors?
Well, you used foul language, you provoked people, you were provocative, you continued to,
How did I provoke
you were closer than you should have been to people.
How did I
With your
provoke
camera, it's aggressive, you were being aggressive, just like when you just approached the table just now.
I was aggressive with you when I approached
It's
the
an
table?
aggressive action
Oh, okay.
to be in somebody's personal space, right?
I don't think I was aggressive when I just approached you.
You're
And that's another one of your interpretations.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm giving you a great deal of leeway, but the purpose of cross-examination is to ask a question and get an answer, not to argue with the witness or state your case. You'll have the opportunity to do that at the end, sir. I am going to give you some leeway, but please try to refrain from arguing with the officers, to ask your questions and put the evidence on and move on if you would.
Now, if I understand correctly, Ms. Lopez rescinded the trespass?
Yes,
And you decided you would go ahead and issue one?
yes.
And why was one also not issued to Mr. Sheets?
One was issued to Mr. Sheets
It was rescinded.
by the sheriff's office. I had nothing to do with that.
Would you agree that there seemed to be a lot of anger towards me that day?
No?
Huh?
No.
All right. I don't think I have anything else for Corporal out of there.
Any regrets?
I do have some redirect. And I apologize, this is not a document that I produced previously, but I will give it to the appellant and to the court. This is section 97.021. This is for the elections code. This is the definitional section. Could you read for me subsection 27 there?
Definition of a polling place is the building which contains polling room where ballots are cast. Definition of polling room means the actual room in which ballots are cast on election day and during early voting.
Ask you to read one more section for me, which is subsection 10 and 11.
Subsection 10, early voting area, means the area designated by the supervisor of elections at an early voting site at which early voting activities occur, including, but not limited to, lines of voters waiting to be processed, the area where voters check in and are processed, and the area where voters cast their ballots. Subsection 11, early voting site, means those locations specified in statute 101.657 and the building in which early voting occurs.
Very quick. Go back to section 102.031, subsection 5. Could you read off where photography is prohibited?
Subsection 5, no photography is permitted in the polling room or early voting area.
And when you were present on October 27th, was there a traditional 100-foot barrier sign that said, no solicitations or any other activities, political activities within the polling area?
I don't recall exactly if there, I thought there was, I don't remember if there was a sign. I know the supervisor of elections, Deputy Campbell, spoke to him, and he did advise us that there was a 100-foot barrier.
Okay. Hold it. Well, it's not those things. I have no more questions.
Okay, the witness is excused. Call your next witness.
I have, our next witness unfortunately was sick. I have another video, which is also included on the composite exhibit 1.
Before you start that, counsel, I'll lay some foundation.
Yes. I have a video, a citizen video that was recorded on October 27th. A citizen filming Mr. McGuire while he was at the location. Corporal Lytle did not take the testimony, but Deputy Campbell, who could not be present today. I do have a copy of the statement, an audio statement from Deputy Campbell of Mrs. Russell's statement.
And is this on Exhibit 1?
This is on Exhibit 1. Do you have any objection?
I would object to that the witness isn't here, sir. I can't cross-examine a video or a recording.
Counsel?
This is a project, just a proceeding. The rules of strict evidence do not apply. The video speaks for itself.
And what is the rule with respect to, which I think is what this objection is, hearsay in the quasi-judicial proceeding?
There is no rule against hearsay in quasi-judicial proceedings. There's no rule against hearsay even in administrative law courts under 120.
So long as?
I apologize, Harold.
So long as there is other evidence that is.
Well, there is two other pieces of evidence. I apologize. There is a statement from Caroline Russell. There is in the trespass order itself. There is the Deputy Corporal Lytle's statement, which describes the incident and the statement.
And if I understood you correctly, counsel, you said this is another video of the same incident that we already saw that is in.
No, this is on the 27th.
This is on a different date.
This is on the date that Corporal Lytle was in attendance.
Sir, I would strongly object that I can't cross-examine the witnesses, that, things of that nature. I mean, how can that possibly be fair to me?
I am going to note the objection, take it into consideration. Let's see what it is first.
I believe you will find that it's a statement against interest. It is a video of.
That would be an exception to the hearsay rule, and then we wouldn't have this issue at all. Let's see.
I hope you like being on camera too, because you have to be on camera. On YouTube? Well, if I can get your name, which I'm sure the officers can provide it, I guess I'll sue you. For not asking my permission to be on video. Excuse me? Uh-huh. What are your videoing me without my consent? It's not illegal? And if you put it on social media, it's very illegal. That's social media. All right, well, what is your name? What is your YouTube channel? They call you Chicken Man. All right, well, sir, I don't know what your reasons are. I really don't. I'm here to vote today. I'm here to vote. So I'll make sure to tell the sheriff that you are videoing me and without my consent. I'm pretty sure with your attitude, it's really sad that, oh, I'm ignorant. You love that one? I'm ignorant. All right.
It's going to be funny when that cop tells you it's public and
There's no expectation of privacy.
Oh,
Okay.
that's correct.
Well, no, you can't. And all right, well, I'll take care of it on my end. Have a good day. I hope you enjoy your videoing.
The next item I would like to play, if there's no objection, is the statement of Ms. Caroline Russell.
I would object once again, sir. She's not here to be cross-examined. Here we are.
If I understand your objection, sir, is to the hearsay nature of the video. Is that correct?
Well, this would be
I'm objecting in general that I can't cross-examine all these witnesses that he's telling me are against me and that are giving evidence against me.
Okay, so the purpose of the hearsay rule is to allow cross-examination because there's no other independent way of verifying the truth of the matter asserted by the witness who is testifying or the evidence being presented. You have a specific objection with respect to the authenticity, accuracy of the video.
I mean, I would like to ask her, if she was the one who filmed it, those kind of things. So yeah, I guess I would have an issue with that.
You have a hearsay objection.
I would.
There's no way to verify this person, you know what I mean, sir?
I do not have a copy with me, but on the appellant's own website, he has the video from the other direction.
Are you going to be calling him?
No.
Okay. I will reserve ruling on this one. Let's see
The time is 11:31 a.m. The statement is reference to case number 1810-014540. Location of this interview is the Mid-County branch of the Charlotte County Library. Madam Campbell, Deputy Sheriff of Charlotte County, Florida. The person being interviewed is Carolina Russell. Date of birth is 12/29/1967. Current address is 20281. How do you say that? Zeta Avenue, Port Charlotte. Ms. Russell, you got anything on illicit drugs and or alcohol?
None.
Okay, do you know the meaning of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm going to explain it anyway. Perjury
Okay.
can be committed by telling lies or omitting or leaving information out while under oath. Perjury is a crime in the state of Florida. You understand about
Yes.
perjury? Prior to taking this sworn statement, I'm placing under oath. Please raise your right hand. You swear affirm the statement you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So help me God, yes.
Okay. All right, Ms. Russell. Why don't you tell me about the incident you had outside
Well,
on your way into the building?
When I pulled up, obviously, I noticed that some guy with a camera was getting in one of the sheriff's faces. I mean, literally, like, up to his face. And the sheriff would walk away and he would follow the sheriff and still with a camera in his face. And I went to the deputy at the door. I'm like, is it safe to come in? You know, I don't know what's going on because, you know, there's a high presence of officers here and this guy, you know, is like getting in his face and everything. He's like, it's safe to vote. So then suddenly this guy now has his camera on me and I was like, I'm not giving you permission, you know, do not video me. I told him, do not video me. I'm not giving you consent. And he's like, well, this is a public place. I can video you and I can, it's going to go on YouTube. So then I took out my phone and I videoed him, videoing me so that I can present it to the sheriffs that I felt like I was being harassed.
Did you tell the subject that you were here to vote?
Yes, he asked me, why are you here? I'm like, I'm here to vote.
And what did he say after that?
I have the video.
Okay.
I don't remember word for word. I just remember little details, but I have the video.
He said something back to you after you told him that?
I don't remember exactly, but it's on the video. I mean, he called me ignorant for voting.
Thank you so much.
Have we discussed anything off tape that we've not discussed on tape?
No.
Is there anything we should add, change, or delete about what happened?
No.
Okay. Have we discussed anything off tape that we've not discussed on the tape?
No, we discussed everything.
This concludes the statement. The time is 11:34.
Do you want me to sit?
Okay, counsel, this is a little troubling. Why is this witness not here?
This witness, I did not have contact information for the witness herself. The deputy who would testify was unable to arrive because he was sick. The evidence is being admitted for the purpose of showing what you cannot see on the cameras, which are the presence of the police officers in response to the appellant and how that has created disruption for the general public coming into the location. Corporal Lila could testify to the same thing, so I don't have an objection if the evidence is removed, but I thought it would be more expansive to hear it from a different perspective.
All right. So just so we have perfect clarity for the record here, it is being offered for what we heard going on around there, not for the truth of the matter being asserted by the witness?
Correct.
Okay. For that limited purpose only, it will be admitted, not for the truth of the matter of what that woman said, who is not here and cannot be processed. And there is a limited hearsay exception in quasi-judicial proceedings, but it's just not, that's just not fair.
Thank you, Your Honor. The county rests.
Thank you. Nice job. Mr. McGuire.
Well, I guess I have some closing statements, really, that'd be all I have.
Okay. You're not going to put on any evidence?
I didn't plan on showing any videos or anything in here.
Okay.
I did a decent job with
You
that.
have the opportunity to testify under oath and have me consider anything you have to say as evidence. What you say to me just sitting there not under oath is maybe persuasive in reason, but it's not.
I have to put myself under oath to give a closing statement?
No, you can just give a closing statement and not put on any evidence if you so choose. I just want to make it clear that you have the opportunity to be put under oath and provide evidence based on what you saw, what you heard.
I'm not sure I could provide any more evidence than what's already been demonstrated. I mean, I went to a public place, several people confronted me, stopped what they were doing, blocked doors, did things. They were the ones creating the disruptive behavior. I simply exercising a constitutional right. I'm very sorry that the county, is upset that the members of the public are so ignorant.
It sounds like you're in closing statement. I'll let you say all that. I just want to get it clear on the
That's
record.
really all I know, man. I already told you that.
Just, sir, if you please do my job. You're saying clearly on the record that you are calling no witnesses and arresting. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, you may make your closing statement now.
All right. This seems to me that this has more to do with anger being directed at me. As you can clearly see how they confused Mr. Sheets for being Mr. McGuire, called the police, trespassed Mr. Sheets, then they rescinded the trespass, made sure that Corporal Lytle came to serve another one on me so I can't go there. These people approached me, yelled at me, told me, the woman's filming me, telling me not to film her, telling me she's going to sue me, all these things. It's the public's, I couldn't make it any more clear than what I told the deputy. The public's ignorance is not my fault. Just because I want to come to a public place, I did not enter the polling room, I did not go in there, I did not observe people voting, casting ballots. I merely sat in the hallway of a public access, which is a library. If number like 11 is going to be interpreted like it is here, that the entire building is the voting.
I'm sorry, sir, it's number 11. If you could point me to what it is that you're referring to.
It's on this page you gave me 204. Let's see.
I apologize, that's three public.
Chapter 97,
Okay.
number 11, says here, you want me to read it to you?
Please.
It says, number 11, early voting site means location specified in S101-657 and the building in which early voting occurs. So I guess if that's to be interpreted literally, that would be the entire library. No one could go in there, take pictures, record. I'm not sure how reasonable you would find that. I'm saying probably not very. It's just ludicrous. The only disturbance that was created there was by the individuals that were recorded. I did not go, I did not threaten people, I did not curse people out, I did not block entrances, I did not go into the polling area. There's nothing more I could really say. Just because I want to exercise a constitutional right, the members of the public are angry about it, that should not be held against me.
Anything else, sir?
That's it.
Your Honor, there is a significant government interest in providing for efficient operation of government functions to allow the public to conduct business and obtain services free of obstruction. While the exterior of the county's library may constitute a traditional public forum, those lobbies, hallways, and polling room and areas which are designated polling places, public access is limited to the conduct of public business such as checking out books or voting, and is not a public forum for First Amendment purposes. The polling area was the entirety of the hallway, although I understand, and the statute could be read to see the entire building, the entire hallway from the 100-foot no solicitation sign at the front of the building down to the polling room itself was a prohibited area. Mr. McGuire's recording speaks for itself, and it shows that Mr. McGuire acted in violation of the county facility rules, specifically rule number 1 in violation of the Florida Election Code. We also believe that the burden has been met with regards to Rule 6, Rule 9, and 14, as well as Section 102.031 of the Florida Election Code. Mr. McGuire violated those rules. Those rules are reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions, even if there was a constitutional right. If he believes that there is a First Amendment issue here, that he has other appellate opportunities to take that case up. But as far as ordinance 26-016, or 027, we believe that our burden has been met, and we ask you to uphold the trespass order.
Let me just ask you one question, counsel. I understand that I do not have the authority to rule on constitutional issues, but Is it not the case that I am required to read county ordinances as though they are constitutional and reconcile them if I can with the Constitution in making my determination here today?
It is, and there is a substantial body of case law with regards to traditional and non-traditional forms. The public forum doctrine itself indicates, and I will give you the case citation, but the doctrine indicates that a public property owner has no less rights than a private property owner. In certain situations where there's a spectrum of rights from the courthouse steps, right-of-ways, and areas that are traditional public forums versus the other side, military bases, jails, courtrooms, public bathrooms, there's a range, and this situation is another one of those limited public properties, but limited forum. If there was a public meeting occurring at the library, then that would be a limited public forum, a public comment could be taken, videos could be taken, other First Amendment expression rights could be implemented. This situation is a statutory obligation to limit access for the limited purpose of voting. The appellant violated that. He was ordered to leave. He was instructed of the regulations. He is aware of the facility regulations. He continued to do so potentially otherwise. And we're asking for that order to be honored.
Mr. McGuire, I presume you understand that voting is the most sacred of our rights.
And that's why I intended to document it in the public interest. And to make sure that the people that are in charge of it don't turn around and try and violate other people's rights, like myself. If I had been simply just left alone to record, there would have been no disruptions, sir. The poll workers and the members of the public that came there chose to make those disruptions, chose to call police, chose to yell at me, chose to film me and tell me I'm going to be sued. I don't understand what they're alleging I did besides simply exercise First Amendment protected activity as a member of the press and post it, on my YouTube channel. I would have loved to just have a video showing people going in, going out voting. Unfortunately, that's not what I've recorded there because of other people's actions.
There are two phases to these hearings. There are a number of evidentiary rulings that I reserved on that I'll have to take a closer look at, so I'm not prepared to rule, but I would like to hear briefly from both of you with respect to the remedy that you are seeking. I think I know yours, Mr. McGuire, which is that I rescind the trespass order. Is that correct?
It is correct, and it's in the sense that voting is already over. So I'm not sure how keeping me away from the library, from filming, is in the government's interest when there's no longer voting going on. That might fly if they were still down there doing early voting. So maybe in 2 years we can have this conversation again.
Anything else?
That's it, sir.
Thank you, sir.
With respect to the very last comment, voting is over. The facility is being used as a library at this point, but the violation was of the county facility rules. And Mr. McGuire has repeatedly been in violation of county rules in other locations.
That's kind of like hearsay, Your Honor.
We're not in the evidentiary portion of it now.
Sir, the fundamental rule for these proceedings is that we do not interrupt each other. Please. Go ahead, counsel.
If there had been a children's reading program going on that only occurs once in a year, and the appellant had violated the facility rules on that day, would we say that he can only not be allowed into the facility when that one-time occurrence occurs? No. The violation was of the county facility rules. This is the county facility. We ask for no more than 1 year trespass authority.
Okay, let me ask you about that, because in reading the ordinance, there were various criteria concerning the issuance of the ordinance, and I'm aware of the criteria in Chapter 162 with respect to remedies. But I'm not sure what my authority is with respect to the time of trespass. I'm aware of a 11th Circuit case that gives me a bit of pause. I'm just going to read that into the record. That is Brown versus City of Jacksonville, which is decided February 16th, and it's a Lexus citation that I have, 2006, U.S. District Court, Lexus 8162, that concerns barring a person, a little different, barring a person from commission meetings for 7 cycles for disrupting the commission meeting when the court did not think that that met the strict scrutiny standards, but that was a public forum. When I read the ordinance, it didn't look to me as though I had a whole lot of discretion. Maybe you could counsel me. Counsel.
On page 3 of the ordinance, page 3 as well, the time period for the trespass is 1 year. And it does not appear to have other remedies involved. However, there is a relief provision as well, at the beginning of page 4, at the top, following that 1-year exclusion, which is if there is no other reasonable alternative location to conduct the necessary business or exercise First Amendment rights within the 1-year period, the respondent can call the county security coordinator who will arrange for temporary access.
Okay. And I presume that you are asking for that.
That is a right that he has already.
Okay. Yeah,
Sir, I'd like to interject here for a second. He's already made it clear to me that checking out a book and using the library facility would not apply to me with the trespass. The, sorry, what's his name, Tom Scott, something like that, the security coordinator, he said that's for good citizens, and I have that on videotape. So what the county's asking you is a blanket denial of me being able to go to the library, use it, check out a book, rent a movie.
Anything else?
That's it. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to call him and arrange something to go down there and use the facility for temporary access.
Okay. Well, it's an interesting question. It was a polling place, and it's also a library, and it's always a county facility. And the business of the legislature, this is mostly for the record, any legislature telling the judiciary that it can only impose a specific period of time for a penalty is very, very troublesome and constitutionally suspect. But in its infinite wisdom, this is what the legislature has done. I'm not really sure that I have the authority to thwart the voters' elected representatives in passing this. So I'm probably going to have to follow what's in the ordinance, and I don't know what else I can do under the circumstances. In their, as is said, in their infinite wisdom, they chose to do this. And my job is solely to apply the law, not make it. I will reserve ruling because there are a number of issues that I have to make a determination of, and unless someone has something else, we will adjourn.
Yes, I understand they rescinded the trespass for the administration complex and canceled the hearing.
Yeah.
Can we move the, what is it, the 4 o'clock one up some so we can, you know?
Yeah, so let's adjourn this hearing and we'll talk about that, okay? All right, so this hearing is adjourned. Now let's go on the record with respect.
Hey Sheriff County, this is Sheriff County COPWATCH. I am using any video here with under fair use if you have criticism, reporting, teaching, etc. And please donate. I do not make money from YouTube, and there are different ways to donate in the video links. Thanks.